Hey guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I am Meslin, your mental fitness trainer here on YouTube, and I am truly grateful that you are taking time out to see what this channel is about, to decide whether or not you yourself are ready to become mentally fit. So if you are a returning client, thank you so much for being here. You know what to do. Go ahead, get ready. I'm just going to spend the next few minutes talking to potential clients. Now, I train myself, I force myself, I give myself permission to introduce myself as a mental fitness trainer here on YouTube because that is a desire that I have. That is the intention of this channel. Sitting in meditation, really learning and training myself to really focus and concentrate on the present moment is something that I truly enjoy. And I have experienced the benefits of doing this practice regularly and really with the intention of getting better at it. And because I've seen the benefits of it, I love life enough, I love you enough to want to share it with you. So my intention with this channel is to create a space where we are actually mentally training. And the reason why we want to become mentally fit is really about today's topic, or today's motivational topic, I should say, is overindulgence. We all do it. We are all guilty of it. And some of us are aware of it. And some of us, this may be the first time you are hearing that overindulgence is a habit that needs to be broken if you are to live a life that divinity has promised that that is what you are here to do. And that life is one of health, one of wealth, one of love and contentment. If that is not the life that you truly desire to live, then what is really the purpose of us being here? We have this desire innately planted in our heart. When we look to translate it, that's what's unique to us. But every single one of us has the desire to be healthy. We all have the desire to be wealthy. We all have the desire to be loved and content in this thing called life. And those desires didn't just come from anywhere. It is these desires that compels us to want to be more, to want to do more, to want to have more. But for us to become the version of ourselves that can actually sustain that type of life, we've got to come to a state in which we are prepared to take a very non-biased, non-judgmental assessment of ourselves. This is a space where we are actually sitting silent and still, and we are focused on the present moment. And we are focused on the present moment in a divine way because my experience and the countless number of books that I have read and fact-checked have corroborated this experience, that we are here to be able to do to live a life of abundance and prosperity divinely, which means harmoniously, which means at some point it should not be such a struggle to just enjoy life. It should not be a struggle to enjoy financial freedom, to enjoy just being in the moment with loved ones, to enjoy a healthy body. At some point, that process should be so well versed and within us, so well mastered, that it's one of ease, that we literally make it our first nature, not even the second nature, because we are willing to let go and remove any distraction that would get in the way of that. And the one thing that we are all guilty of is allowing ourselves the excuse that because you can, you do, or that you should do it, right? Overindulging in drinking, in smoking, in working, in sex, in, did I say eating, in having too much fun partying. Overindulgence in anything is not good for us. Life itself is trying to teach us, not even trying to teach us. Life itself is teaching us that lesson. It is always balanced. You cannot have the light without darkness. You cannot have happiness without sadness. You cannot have gains without losses. So life is always teaching us of its balance. And when we find ourselves allowing ourselves to overindulge in things that we know we should be balanced in, that's when you have to be willing to take a moment of pause and really assess yourself. Mental discipline is self-mastery. It's when we find the courage within ourselves to say no. We've got to learn that our flex, our greatest strength, is the fact that we can self-regulate ourselves. We can control ourselves. We can control ourselves. And if we are not, it's because somewhere along the line, someone told us that things have power over us, that people are able to say things to us, and that should be enough to trigger us, that people are able to do things to us, and that should be enough to trigger us. The bottom line is that divinity is not outside of you. And the reason why this is important for you to remember is because this means that you are supremely powerful. Divinity is the very inhale and exhale of our breathing. And because we are not separate from that reality, we have to understand that there really is no one and no thing more powerful than ourselves. There is nothing that you have to allow to give power over you. Not anyone's judgments, not anyone's opinions, not anyone's beliefs, not anyone else's experiences or understanding, because we have the right to choose to see for ourselves. But this does come with a level of accountability and responsibility. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yes, you have the, what we're dealing with is a level of immaturity within ourselves, right? So you have to understand that being mentally fit is recognizing that when it comes to overindulgence, you've learned to give yourself the permission to say no to yourself. That's what mental mastery is about, is that you rein yourself in. You pull yourself back. You realize, yes, there are some changes that I need to make to my lifestyle because this particular lifestyle is not yielding the results that I know I desire to see and experience. So that's why we have to give ourselves permission to be honest. If there is potential within us to be more, to do more, to have more, then we have to honor that. We should not be so lazy, not be so unloving towards ourselves that we don't honor the fact that because we have the potential to be more, do more, and have more, we should live up to that. We should do what it takes to fulfill that desire, to really live life to its highest potential. Why else would we waste time being here? Why waste time being here? So that in and of itself becomes a life project. One of the hardest things we are ever going to give ourselves permission to do is become mentally fit. Because when you are becoming mentally fit, especially in this faith-based way, because I can only speak from experience, you are going to have to become emotionally fit. You are going to have to become physically fit, spiritually fit, environmentally fit. To be mentally disciplined is to be disciplined, period. It means we've learned and we've come to a level of maturity and discipline within ourselves that we've mastered the art of saying no to ourselves. It is not a big deal to say, I said I wasn't going to eat past 8, therefore I don't eat past 8. And I don't create drama around it because I'm hungry, because I want to snack on something. I simply breathe through it because that's what the mental training that I have been embarked on tells us to do. And so we learn to come into a level of mental resilience, mental fortitude, but most importantly, mental peace. And that peace is not worth breaking simply because we don't want to say no to ourselves. We have to understand that because divinity is within us, and the word divinity means supreme power, you have to take accountability for that. So if you are one with supreme power, that means what you say when it comes to the health of your body temple has to be absolute. There are certain things that we say, we have to be mature enough to understand it is absolute. When it comes to the physical form, when it comes to the emotional and the mental and the spiritual aspects that make up the physical form, we have to be absolute about taking care of it from that vantage point, from that context. Because overindulgence is really what is at the root of what we're suffering from, because there is an overindulgence in thinking. And because we overindulge in thinking, we are overindulged in excuses, in justifications, in reasons that, of course, sound like they make sense to us. But if you're truly being honest, what excuse can justify not taking care of the body temple? We don't have a really valid excuse not to take care of the life that we have been given. And when you understand that to take care of the human form is to take care of your life, then you begin to see God in everything. And so you intend that just by living and expressing divinity, that that's what we all really need. We just need to see more of us expressing divinity. That's why I am speaking to the fact that you are God in form. You are. Therefore, you are powerful enough to make the necessary lifestyle changes that you need to make. But you have to understand that the habit you're going to be breaking is overindulging, which means you have to learn to say no to yourself. You have to learn to say no to yourself, to the things that you have given yourself permission to overindulge in. You know, the last few years I have been practicing intermittent fasting and extended fasting. So that is a practice every day to really refine it and really come into a level of acceptance of it and really come into a level of enjoyment of it. You do it because it's necessary for the body temple. We can't always be eating all the time. Life tells us that we have to maintain a level of balance. Now, you don't have to do 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 21 days like just do a day. Just do a day. Maybe for you, that's where we all need to start somewhere, right? So it might be enough just to do one day, 24 hours, where I don't eat anything. And I do it regularly, so that I don't fall into the trap of thinking that it should only be one way. The more attention we are willing to give to the breath, the more attention we are willing to give to our lives. And this is what allows us to begin to see. Let me just see my behavior in 24 hours time. Let me pay attention, because a healthy mind is always paying attention to life, at least with the form of training that I do. It's the form of training I'm sharing with you. Faith-based mental training is about recognizing that divinity is within us. And when we're focused on divinity, we are now aligned with supreme power. Therefore, that means we have to come into the reality of living a disciplined life, because that is how you use this power. You use this power to control your speech, your language, your body communication, the way you communicate, the tonality, the words, your thoughts, your emotions. You use this power to control yourself, because when you are in alignment with divinity and you're in control of yourself, you're just more influential. You're more able to garner the respect and the support that you need from life. So you're never really speaking to people's weaknesses. You're only ever speaking to their strengths, which makes them want to be of assistance to us, right? So when we allow ourselves to focus on divinity within us, it makes it easier to see divinity in other human beings. And when you're speaking to the divinity in other human beings, things just flow more easily. You've got to become mentally fit. You've got to learn to say no to yourself, because we are extremely powerful. And when our mind is not healthy, the excuses and the justifications we make actually hold us back, because we have not learned that there are certain things that are non-negotiable. When it comes to your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and environmental self, that's 5 dimensions of yourself. They are non-negotiable when it comes to you taking care of it. Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. This vessel that we have been given is our gift to live the life we desire to live. And if it is not healthy, then you won't be able to sustain that life. And that is what makes us supremely powerful. That divinity allows us to sustain the life we desire. So if you are here, that is your intention, because it is what my intention is. And if we're going to be in the same space, training with one another, let's be on the same page. It takes a lot of courage to introduce yourself as a mental fitness trainer, and this is a new industry you're going into. I'm speaking from experience. That's all I have right now. But as you guys begin to actually train and really give yourself permission to experience the divinity within you, then you become walking testimonies. And that's all I need. I need for us to be demonstrators of truth. That's how you show your success. That's how you show what you're sharing actually holds weight. So it's not in talking, it's more in us willing to be here. All right? So that's my intention for this channel, is for us to become mentally fit, for us to learn to say no to the things that we know we need to say no to, and to do so from a state of maturity. Nothing about it has to create mental agitation for us, because we're coming into our power. We're learning that sovereignty means that divinity has given me the power to say no to myself. And if I'm willing to say no to myself, to the things that pertain to this physical, human, emotional, spiritual form, then I cannot fail in what I desire to see and manifest. I cannot fail in my desire to heal myself, nor can I fail in my desire to truly experience the promises that divinity has promised us, which is love, wealth, contentment, freedom, right? All right, so some prerequisites. Now that you know what I'm about and what we're going to be getting into, let's just jump into little prerequisites before we get into our training. So I want you to dress comfortably if you decide you're going to train today. I'm assuming if you're here, your time is valuable. You have a life you have to live. You have a family that you're leading, a family that you're nurturing. So you don't have time to waste. So let's make sure that if you're here, you're dressed comfortably, because we are going to be sitting for 10 minutes straight. So I want to make sure that you feel comfortable in the clothes that you are in, that what you're wearing is not going to be a distraction for you to sit still and for you to maintain your form, right? So make sure you're dressed comfortably. Also, if you're not accustomed to sitting silent and still for 10 minutes, it might help you to move around a bit, kind of wiggle, shake it off, walk, go to the restroom, drink some water, just really give yourself permission to really acknowledge that you might feel a little uncomfortable, that this is new to you, or that you've done it before, but it's been a while and you haven't sat still. Just give yourself permission to feel whatever you're going to feel by moving around a bit. Shake it out. Sometimes moving the body helps to move energy through you, and it just helps you to relax a little bit more. And you're going to need to give yourself that permission with this faith-based training. Another thing, back support. I'm asking you to sit in a comfortable position where your spine is elongated and erect. So I want your shoulders back. I want you to sit. So if you have back support, that helps a little more. So a chair, a couch, a tree, a box, a bed, whatever you can lean up against, a wall, whatever helps you to have back support. If you can't, laying flat on the floor with your back as connected to the ground as possible, that also helps. You are not going to fall asleep if that is not your intention. You are in a gym right now. We're in the studio. We're about to train. So that is not the intention. And if you are focused on the breathing with the intention of really strengthening your mental muscles, which is what we're going to be doing, you're not going to be falling asleep in that way. Your mind is going to come to a state of rest, which might feel like sleep, but there is actually no true sleep taking place. So just make sure you're in a space where you feel comfortable enough to close your eyes. Should you feel the need to, you don't have to, but if you want to close your eyes, I would at least like you to be in a space where you're comfortable enough to do that, okay? So, as I said, this is called faith based mental training. So, there are 5 techniques to this that I explain, even though it's really one fluid movement. I only break it down into 5 steps because it makes it easier for you to understand exactly what you're doing and for you not to be uptight about it. I just want you to relax and really give yourself permission to experience your divinity because that's all we're doing. Okay. So the first technique is to keep your focus of attention on the breath. So the breath is life. The breath is truth. The breath is reality. And as you give yourself permission to truly experience what these words indicate, that is all we're doing. So as you give yourself permission to experience it, what you're going to come to realize is the breath is God, meaning supreme power, meaning the breath is a very strong anchor in our human experience. It gives us clarity. It provides us a sense of stability that keeps us centered. It gives us a sense of knowledge, meaning we're able to understand what it is we're seeing. The breath is a substance that is divine in nature. And so we want to be focused on it because life is the breath. And as we allow ourselves to be focused on the breath, this just gives us a better understanding of life. It gives us a better understanding of what is it that I'm seeing and how do I understand what it is that I'm seeing. So we want to focus on the breath for all these reasons, that within itself, within the inhale and exhale itself, there is an intelligence that allows us to come into more understanding of life. And the more we understand life, the more we understand ourselves. And once you have mastery over yourself, you can trust the steps that you are taking towards the life that you are manifesting. You've got to be able to trust the decisions and the actions you take. Because if you don't trust it, then you're not taking them fully. You're not taking them with a level of confidence and love. And so they're not as potent. And you need to be confident about the world you're stepping into. Again, if you desire to garner that love and support from it, right? So you have to give what you're willing to take. What you're willing to receive, you have to give it. And so if you want to be in a space where you feel safe, or you feel loved and you feel guided and you feel protected, you have to move with that level of confidence. So we focus on the breathing for all those reasons. The second technique is that we're going to breathe through any emotion, any sensations or tingleness we feel in the body. Your thoughts are emotions. They're energies in motion. I want you to breathe through them. Any tension, any tightness in your jaw, those are emotions. It's just the way you're feeling in the moment, not really relaxed, not really trusting. So anytime you feel any tightness or tension in the body, that's all your body is indicating. Breathe through it, because we don't want to force the body to do something we don't feel comfortable doing. And that's again, reclaiming our supreme power, reclaiming the divinity within us. So when you're learning to breathe through emotions, you're simply learning not to allow things to be a distraction for you. You should always be attentive to how safe and secure and stable you feel in the moment. Always attentive to that, because the moment you feel tension, the moment you feel tightness, the moment you feel a uh-oh sensation, just bring your focus of attention to the present moment. Pay attention to your surrounding. Is there really a reason to feel that emotion, right? Because sometimes we could be sitting in the middle of our bedroom on our bed and we're tense and we're not even aware of it. And so we're in our thoughts, we're tense, we're holding our breathing, and we're not even aware of it. And you need to keep blood flowing through that beautiful body you've been given. Keep it hydrated, keep it lubricated, keep it illuminated. And so to do that, we've got to be prepared to feel, to be sensitive to feeling. But when I mean sensitive to feeling, I don't mean allowing emotions to dictate your behavior. I mean sensitive to feeling the sensation, feeling the tension and the tightness. So when we're breathing through emotions, yes, we're learning to be okay with discomfort. And that goes a long way when it comes to living this life we have been given. So the second technique is to breathe through any emotions or sensations or tingleness that you're feeling. The third technique is to consciously breathe in and consciously breathe out. That means that means on purpose, you are bringing air in, and on purpose, you are releasing it. And you're doing this in and out of your nose, mouth closed. I want us to get used to paying attention to how do you behave when you are consciously moving, when you're not just doing it because you've conditioned yourself to do it 1,000 times. Remember, overindulgence, just because you've always done it that way, doesn't mean that that's the way that's most natural and best for you to do it. If you give yourself permission to do something consciously, it allows you to see if that's the way you really want to do it. So that's why we're paying attention to our breathing, because we want to be mindful of our gestures, of the way we're delivering what we're trying to communicate, what we're trying to express. You need life in order to enjoy life, and you don't want to be a miserable or expressing emotions or past experiences that you don't really want to be expressing. We want to be seen. We want to be loved. We want to be supported. It's perfectly natural, but we have to be willing to make sure that we are expressing those attributes that we desire. And so when you are consciously breathing in and consciously breathing out, you're simply paying attention to the thoughts in your head. You're paying attention to the emotions in your body. You're paying attention to how you're moving, how you're speaking, how you're interacting with people. And this is very important because, as I said, we could be sitting silent and still. We could be sitting and we're not aware that we're talking in our mind. So what we're going to do in this moment for the next 10 minutes is actually learn to be unilateral in our movement. So not only are we sitting silent, but we're also sitting still. And we're paying attention to how do we feel in this moment of sitting silent and still? How anchored do we feel? How safe do we feel? How uncomfortable do we feel? Really learning ourselves. So consciously breathe in and consciously breathe out. The fourth technique is to make this in and out movement that you're going to be doing in and out of your nose fluid. So don't hold your breath, don't pause. And you're going to see that there are moments where you do that because you're trying to learn to not allow your thoughts to distract you, which are a form of emotions. So you'll see that there are certain times in your day that you hold your breathing, that you're not breathing as deep as you should, or that you're not breathing as relaxed as the moment is allowing you to breathe. And so we want to begin to pay attention to our own unique breathing pattern so that we learn, okay, this is how I breathe when I'm relaxed. This is how I breathe when I'm upset. This is how I breathe when I'm excited, when I'm uncertain. As you begin to really learn yourself, you'll be able to see when an emotion is getting ready to arise. When someone says something, you can begin to feel it. And this is when you have now permission to dictate how you are going to respond, not the emotion. So we have to learn our own breathing pattern, and we have to give ourselves time to really learn that breathing pattern. And so this is why we're consistently here, right? Why we're consistently training. We want to learn our own rhythm. But to learn our own rhythm, we've got to participate in that process, meaning we actually have to breathe in and out fluidly. And then as you feel like you're getting tired, then go a little slower. If you feel like you're getting tired and you need to speed up, then speed up. But nowhere in that process are you pausing or holding your breath. You're simply going with it. And at times you might even feel a little lightheaded, but you're not going to pass out from it if you're paying attention to your breathing pattern. So you might even feel really good having all this oxygen in your body. What you're here to do is pay attention to your body. Don't blame me for something if you're paying attention to your own body. That's why let's be mature about what we're doing in this moment during these training sessions. You are here to get your mind healthy. So that means you are here to pay attention, keen, observant, sound attention to your body. And that's all we're doing. You're simply paying attention to the inhale and exhale and making sure that it's fluid. making sure that you're not holding or pausing your breath, but you're sustaining that movement. Lastly, let the body tempo relax. So the fifth and final technique is that as we are keeping our focus of attention on our breathing and breathing through any sensation or tingleness that we feel because we're holding our form, we're not moving and fidgeting around to the best of our ability anyway. We're consciously breathing in, consciously breathing out, not holding our breath, not pausing. The body tempo is going to want to relax. Give it permission. Your mind is going to want to relax. And when I say give it permission, I mean sink into that feeling of relaxing, because what we're maintaining is the alertness. That's why we're focused on our breathing. So a fluid movement of inhale, exhale, no pausing, no stopping, inhale, exhale. That's what we're going to be doing. All right. So we're going to take a few breaths, big breaths as warm ups. Oh, this is dead. Few big breaths for warm up, and then I'll start the timer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Big breath. Big breath. Last one. Big breath. And begin. Stay in the form or in the position that you've chosen. And just breathe in and out of your nose fluidly. Everything else allow to happen. You're alert and attentive to this moment, and that's what matters. Allow the body tempo to relax on its own. Don't force it. All you're doing is breathing in and out of your nose on purpose, fluidly. No stopping. 8 minutes. Continue intentionally breathing in and intentionally breathing out. We are alert and intentionally breathing in, intentionally breathing out right here in this moment. Continue to consciously breathe in, consciously breathe out, fluidly, all the way in, all the way out. Go with whatever flow, whatever rhythm you are feeling in the moment. Go with it all. Let it fluctuate if you feel. Just make sure you are on purpose breathing in, on purpose breathing out. Stay with the flow of the inhale and exhale of your breathing. 1 minute. Big breath. All right, guys, that was our mental training session for today. Again, like the video, let me know that you got your training in. I have 35 clients. That means I should have 35 likes. As much as you watch these videos, get your mental training in. Even if it's not the faith-based one, get your reading in, get your prayers in, get your affirmation in. Whatever you consider mental training, connecting yourself with divinity, get it in. Like the video that you got your training in. Subscribe to this channel if your intention is to become more mentally fit this year. This is the last year where you're making decisions and taking action unconsciously. Everything you do is going to have an absoluteness about it because you're going to be doing it from the place of supreme power, from the place of divinity, from the place of truth. And so I want you to subscribe. I want you to be a client. And also lastly, hit the notification bell. I upload at all times of the day, but I'm uploading to check in on you, to ask you, did you get your mental training in? It's my way of being accountable for you, and your way of being accountable is to like the video, let me know that you trained. Also, a new one, leave constructive criticism for me at the in the comments. Whatever I can do to provide more clarity. What do I need to explain more? Do I need to slow down? Whatever it is you feel would make me a better trainer. Practice constructive criticism. Learn how to check someone, teach someone from a place of love. I would greatly appreciate it. Namaste.